Okay, so here's all the parts. So this is the main part. Now I have cleaned these all up now because they weren't filthy actually. They were just covered in dust. So I did take the plastic off. I'm not going to wash the plastic because it was actually pretty clean. Just needed dusting and dusting under the board. So here's the main board. This here is, I think it's mostly the video output because that's where the internal RF cable goes. I'm disconnecting that because on this one here is the composite output and the audio output. So I'm actually going to disconnect. I might regret that, but I don't want to put an RF. So I've taken that out. And here's the buttons, 4 buttons. Now, sadly, I did break one of the clips on one of the buttons. Hopefully it's not going to make a difference. I'm going to glue it back here, the clip back on again, but we'll see how I go on with that. But yeah, you can see it's, well, whether you might be able to tell from the original pictures, but it is all looking a lot cleaner now. So anyway, what we got here, we got a RAM board, 16-bit RAM card, 16-bit RAM card. And this is the, I made myself like an idiot. This, I believe, is the EPROMs. This is the main system software. But the real key thing about, and probably one of the reasons I really bought this machine, was this. This is absolutely wonderful. And I'm just going to make sure I get the right one here. Yeah. So, 6502. Okay, and the graphics and sound chips, and I may correct this, but these 2 chips on the end were created by J Miner, who also created the chipset in the Amiga range, and of course, well, the sound, actually, fun enough, was done by another guy, but J Miner was the main chip guy. Which hung all together. So, and there'll be more about this anyway a bit later on when I go and say why this machine is quite wonderful. There you go. That's it. Jesus. Now this is a piece of aluminium. Now originally the problem was the FCC were concerned about the because remember it's the early days of computers, and they were concerned about radio frequency interference, and so they kind of had to put this massive great chunk of aluminium. I don't remember anyone else having to do this, but you know, it's just a big chunk of aluminium. It's actually really nice. I'm going to clean this up. Going to get some polish on this to make it look nice, even though no one's going to see it. Oh, they were going to see in here. This is the left cartridge and right cartridge slots, so I'm going to give that a bit of a polish to make that look nice. But I think that's quite an impressive piece of casting for what was a home computer, well, home/small business computer. Very impressive. I've got to be honest, doing this is a little bit like a religious experience. How weird is that? Cleaning the keyboard. I've never done this before, and I've kind of shied away from it for fear of damaging the keyboard. But this needs doing. It's got, I don't know if you can see all the grime. I mean, it's 37 years old, and I'm literally just almost doing it. I mean, this is the first one I've ever done. I'm just gently prying these things up, put them in there, and I'm just going to work my way along until I've got all the keys off, and then I'm going to give them a good clean. So talk to you later. Okay, all the keys are off. Springs, you can see, all in here. This is actually pretty grubby. But the only thing I've chickened out of is taking off the space bar, because I've not taken one off, and I'm a bit worried about damaging that underneath. I know you pro guys out there might laugh, but I don't want to do any damage, so I'm just going to really clean it by hand. But the rest of the keys are off, so we're all good there, and then I'll put it all back together again. There you go. Jesus, it's cleaning. Yeah, I'm watching Neil do this on Retro Man Cave, and it's like do you know what? There's a lot to be said for watching someone else do these, but I think it's going to come out looking awesome. We'll know. We'll know soon enough, I guess. Yeah, now all we do, rinse them off. Here we go. This is fun, isn't it? So basically, we've got a board. We've got a board here with that's the power and the few of the keys and certain bits and pieces. As I said, this isn't an in-depth tutorial. And there's the main board, and then there's the CPU card. Of course, when I had to get it apart, I didn't know which way round it went. I had to check. It made sense because there's no way it would have gone the other way, but I thought I'd better check. Anyway, so that goes around that way. There'll be people screaming at the thing, oh, you got it around the wrong way. Right, so now then this flips over and drops into here. Now, interestingly, that goes in there, and then on the side here is an edge connector. Anyway, I'll get back to screwing it together. Okay, seriously, whose idea was this? So you got this piece of metal goes behind here. Now this is in repaired state, and it kind of sits behind there, and it's a tensioning bit, which I've forgotten which it tensions bit for. But anyway, beside the point, you got these two little plastic bits sticking out. Can you see that? Yeah, the two little plastic bits, and it sits behind that. And of course, me being a bit of an oaf, I managed to snap this one off. Genius. Anyway, so if anyone else ever does that, what I did was I got you can see there's a little bit of fluff down there, we held it in place. I got the thing that snapped off and I fixed it. If you can see that, I slid it down beside it with some super glue. Okay, and it's now in there pretty damn rigid, so that should do that job anyway. But yeah, that was really annoying. Well, it kind of looks like I got part of it done. No doubt I'll be taking it apart anyway because I've missed something, but let's continue. Okay, so that's better, isn't it? Nice shiny keyboard. All the keys fit. Some of them a little bit faded. You can see around the ones that obviously been used a lot, but looking so much better. Okay, so I've got it all back together except the top cover. See how clean the keys are. Look at that. Look lovely. Except for a little bit of wear around these ones, but I'm just seeing maybe they were used an awful lot. I've cleaned up the inside as best I can. It's a little bit better. But it's aluminium, so you know you expect a little bit of patina, I think they call it. Everything's in there, all done up. All I've got to do now is put the top on. I tell you, that's a lovely machine, isn't it? Okay, all finished. Only thing wrong, I seem to be missing one keyboard spring. Which is kind of frustrating because I'm pretty sure I was very careful when I was doing it. Let me just pop the lid up. Might be a little bit tight there. There we go. Yep, I think she's now ready for what's the next stage, the video and testing, but that'll be a while.